Hello students, today we are going to discuss about how to construct a correlation diagram or orbital correlation diagram. So let's see. Orbital correlation diagram is a diagram which shows the correspondence or connection between energies and symmetries between orbitals of reactant and product. So friends, to construct the correlation diagram, we need two separate columns for the reactant orbital and product orbital. So reactant orbital and product orbital are listed in order of their relative energies, and then each orbital is classified according to their symmetries. So as you know, each molecular orbital have two types of symmetries: M symmetry, C2 symmetry, okay, mirror plane and center symmetry. So now for the reference, I am showing all the symmetries for each and every orbital. So for sigma it is M symmetric and C2 symmetric. For psi 1 it is M symmetric and C2 asymmetric. So this is how we are going to classify all these molecular orbital according to their symmetry element. Okay. Now what we need to do, we need to match or correlates the orbitals which having the same symmetry element with minimum energy difference, and the orbitals which having the same symmetry element and with the minimum energy difference are connected with the lines as shown here. Okay, we need to connect these orbitals with the line. So this is how we can construct the orbital correlation diagram for each and every transformation. So what conclusions we can draw from this orbital correlation diagram? There are two conclusions we can draw from the orbital correlation diagram. First one is, if the ground state of the reactant correlates with the ground state of the product, it is thermally allowed. Okay, again I repeat, if the ground state, that is this one, okay, for this butadiene, two electrons over here, two electrons over here. So this is the ground state. If the ground state of the reactant correlates with the ground state of the product as shown here, then it is a thermally allowed. And if the excited or first excited state of the reactant correlates with the first excited state of the product, then it is a photochemically allowed. So we can draw these two conclusions from the orbital correlation diagram. So friends, let's see when to use which symmetry. As you know that there are two types of symmetry elements in the molecular orbitals. But if we closely look at the orbitals having C2 symmetry, for the bonding overlap, we need a con rotatory motions. Okay, for the orbitals having C2 symmetry, we need a con rotation. And for the orbitals having M symmetry, for the bonding overlap, we need disrotation. So each and every time when we are going to perform the con rotatory process, then we need to consider the C2 symmetry of the orbitals of the reactant as well as product. And whenever we are considering the disrotation, we are considering M symmetry orbitals of the reactant and product. So this is a very important slide of the presentation. For the con rotatory, we need C2 symmetry, and for this rotatory we need M symmetry, because only these rotations and these orbitals give us bonding overlap. So let's see one example, so it will morely more helpful for us. So let's see the construction of correlation diagram of interconversion of cyclobutene to butadiene. So what we need to do, we need to draw two separate columns for the reactant molecular orbital as well as product molecular orbital according to their relative energies, and we need to give the symmetry element for the each and every orbital. So this is how we can draw the molecular orbitals, and according to their symmetries we can classify this each and every molecular orbital. So friends, for just our reference, this is how we are showing the symmetry. So for the sigma, we have M symmetry and C2 symmetry. For the butadiene, psi 1, M symmetry and C2 asymmetry. So friends, you can see here, okay. for the cyclobutene, we have sigma bond and a pi bond. So for sigma bond, we have sigma and sigma star, and for the pi bond, we have pi and pi star. So this is how, according to their relative energies, we are constructed these molecular orbitals. Now, for the psi1, psi2, psi3, and psi4, we know that psi1 have M symmetry as well as C2 asymmetric. For psi2, it is a M asymmetric because there is no mirror plane passing through these two molecular orbitals. So it is a M asymmetric, and it is a C2 symmetric because there is a center of symmetry over here. For psi3 star, this is a mirror plane passing through this negative negative charge. So it is mirror symmetric but C2 asymmetric. Similarly, for psi2, psi4 star, we have M asymmetric and C2 symmetric. This is how we can assign the symmetry element to each and every molecular orbital. So once we assign the symmetry for each and every orbital, now we need to consider the con or disk rotation. So let's see the con rotatory interconversion of cyclobutene to butadiene, whether it is thermally or photochemically allowed. So what we need to do, now we constructed the molecular orbital. Let's connect, okay, let's connect the orbitals having same symmetry. For the con rotation, we are taking C2 symmetries of reactant orbital as well as product orbital. As you know, the sigma is C2 symmetric, pi is C2 asymmetric, pi star is C2 symmetric, and sigma star is C2 asymmetric. Whereas psi1 is C2 asymmetric, psi2 is C2 symmetric, psi3 is C2 asymmetric, and psi4 is C2 symmetric. So friends, you can see the minimum energy difference and same symmetry element. Okay, these two points we need to consider. So you can see sigma have C2 symmetric and psi2 having C2 symmetric. So let's join these two orbitals by the line. Okay, C2 asymmetric is joined with the psi1 and C2 symmetric is joined with the C2 symmetric psi2. Similarly, C2 symmetric will join with the psi4 and sigma star will join with the psi3 because both are having same symmetry. So let's join these two. From this, what we can see, the ground state is matching with the ground state, or ground state is correlating with the ground state. So friends, you can write down like this: sigma 2, that is sigma having 2 electrons, so sigma 2 pi 2, that is this also having 2 electrons, so sigma 2 pi 2 is correlating with the psi 1 to psi 2 2, that is these two psi 1 and psi 2 contains 2 electrons. So now ground state matches with the ground state. As the ground state of the reactant correlates with the ground state of the product, it is called as thermally allowed transformation. So as everyone knows that the con rotatory process, okay, con rotatory process in cyclobutene to butadiene conversion is thermally allowed. Okay. Now let's see this rotatory process. As we considering the this rotatory process, we need to consider the M symmetry of reactants as well as product, and we need to match the orbitals having same symmetry and minimum energy difference. So sigma is M symmetric and psi1 also M symmetric. So let's match the psi1 and sigma. Now pi and psi2. No, pi is M symmetric, but psi2 is M asymmetric. So minimum energy difference is psi3. Now psi3 and pi is matching with their symmetry. So let's join this 2 and psi star with the psi2. Okay, this is how we can joining the orbitals of same symmetry and having minimum energy difference. So lastly, sigma star is matching with psi 4 star. So let's join these two with the line. So from this, what we can see, this first excited state is matching with first excited state of product. So as first excited state, psi 2, sigma 2 pi 1, pi star 1 is matching with the psi 1 2, psi 2 and psi 3 star. So this is conclude that this transformation is photochemically allowed. So for the interconversion or conversion of cyclobutene to butadiene, this rotatory motion is photochemically allowed. This is how we can draw the conclusion, or how this is how we can construct the orbital correlation diagram for this transformation. Now friends, let's see the correlation diagram of interconversion of cyclohexadiene to hexatriene. For the cone rotatory process, what we need to do? For cone rotatory process, we need to take the C2 symmetries of reactant and product and need to match the orbitals having same symmetry and minimum energy difference. So let's draw it. For cone rotation, we need to consider C2 symmetry. So let's see. Okay, sigma pi 1, pi 2, pi 3 star, pi 4 star, and sigma star. According to the relative energies, we have constructed the molecular orbitals of this cyclohexadiene. Okay, sigma, this is sigma bond. So sigma and sigma star, and we have two pi bonds. Therefore, pi 1, pi 2, pi 3, and pi 4. Okay, this is how we are constructing the molecular orbitals of the cyclohexadiene. Now let's consider the molecular orbitals of hexatriene. So for the hexatriene, we have psi 1, psi 2, psi 3, psi 4, psi 5, psi 6. As we can already know, as we already discussed the symmetries of these molecular orbitals, we know that psi 1 is C2 asymmetric, psi 2 is C2 symmetric, psi 3 is C2 asymmetric, psi 4 is C2 symmetric, psi 3, psi 5 is C2 asymmetric, and psi 6 is C2 symmetric. This is how we can construct the correlation diagram for this conversion of cyclohexadiene to hexatriene in conrotatory process. But conrotatory process, whether it is thermally allowed or photochemically allowed, we can see here. You can see the ground state. Okay, ground state, that is a sigma pi 1 and pi 2. Okay, sigma 2 pi 1 2 and pi 2 2. This about 2 is for the electrons. Okay, so this 6 electron system is not matching with the psi 1, psi 2, psi 3, that is a ground state. So ground state of the reactant is not matching with ground state of the product. Therefore, we can say that the cone rotatory process is not thermally allowed in case of cyclohexadiene to cyclohexa cyclohexadiene to hexatriene. Okay, this is not thermally allowed. Cone is not thermally allowed in this case. So how about the first excited state? You can see the first excited state is matching with first excited state of product. So we can see that sigma 2 pi 1 2 pi 2 1 and pi 3 star 1 is first excited, which matches with psi 1 2, psi 2 2, psi 3 1 and psi 4 1 star. Okay, so this is how the first excited state is matching with first excited state. So we can say that the cone rotation for this conversion is allowed only in photochemical transformation. Okay, now let's see this rotation. So this rotation of this conversion, whether it is allowed in thermally or photochemically, let's see that. Okay, for the this rotation, we need to consider the m symmetry of all the reactant molecular orbital as well as product molecular orbital. So if we construct this diagram, then you can see that the ground state of the reactant now matching with the ground state of the product. So as the ground state matches with the ground state, that is sigma 2, say pi 1 2 and pi 2 2 is matching with psi 1 2, psi 2 2 and psi 3 2, then it is thermally allowed. Okay, so this rotatory process in this conversion is thermally allowed. This is what the Woodward and Hofmann proved in their selection rule. So friends, now what we learned in today's topic, the orbital correlation diagram is a diagram which shows the correspondence or connection between energies and symmetries of orbital of reactant and product. So it is based on the conservation of orbital symmetries. Thirdly, orbitals of same symmetry having minimum energy difference are connected by lines. And finally, two conclusions can be drawn from this correlation diagram. That is, first one is thermal transformation is symmetry allowed when the ground state of the reactant correspondent to ground state of the product or correlate with the ground state of the product. And second conclusion we can draw from the correlation diagram, that is photochemical transformation is symmetry allowed when the excited state first excited state of the reactant correlates with the first excited state of the product. Okay, this is what we learned from the correlation diagram according to Woodward and Hofmann rule. Now we can summarize the rule, that is number of pi electron. 4n pi electron system is thermally conrotatory and photochemically it's a disrotatory. For the 4n plus 2, thermally it is a disrotatory and photochemically is conrotatory. This is how we can construct the correlation diagram for each and every transformation. So friends, for this I have gone through the reference, that is a photochemist and pericyclic reaction by Jagdamba Singh and Jaya Singh. So this is very nice book for pericyclic reaction. You can refer this book for pericyclic reactions. Okay. So thank you very much.